They have no authority. I keep telling y'all, they have no authority. No authority over the black man, only what we as black people give them, which we grant them. Uh, we keep falling prey to their trickery and to their uh, brainwashing techniques or brain conditioning, mind conditioning, and mind control. This is Black Light coming to you from the woods, across from the D. The D is right in back of me. The woods is right here where I'm at, by the lakes. 313, area code 313. And I'm talking to my people about this no authority. See, we are prisoners of war. That's all there's plain fact to that. Not only are we prisoners of war, we are a punching bag. We are a whipping post. We just keep on getting abused and misused, and we don't want to seem to stop. We can't recognize game when it's right in our face. We can't recognize it. They play us against each other all the time. We was conditioned to be played against each other. But we look at the insignificant things because we're afraid to look at the big picture, because it's so overwhelming, we think, but it's really not overwhelming. The big picture is not overwhelming. No, not at all. The big picture is that we stand up as men and women and control our own destiny. Now, we're not at war with nobody but ourselves. We've been in the submissive position. We've been in a submission to this beast for as long as I can remember. In the 60s, we tried to fight back, but again, they pulled the wool over our eyes and got us infighting again, like we're doing now. We infighting, right now with each other. And we always off balance. A brother like me, y'all don't listen to me because they say, who is this guy? We don't know him. He's an old guy, and he talk funny. He don't know how to talk. I know I don't know how to talk, but I'm talking like to y'all like I talk to people on the streets and people I know. I ain't trying to change my rap or nothing. I talk a lot of ebonics and a lot of street jargon, but I've been on the planet for 7 decades, and I got experience with this beast, and I want to share it with you. Now, right now, he got us infatuated over this YouTube, over this social media, see. Now, he can manipulate you with this media, social media, this YouTube. He can manipulate you. Even though we have the freedom, more freedom to express ourselves on YouTube, he can still use it as a propaganda device, you know. And long as he put money in the picture, like if you get so many views and so many hits, you know, and you're popular with the masses, and they'll put it on the main TV, you know. But most of the time, what they put on the main TV is insignificant to our struggle, to our cause. It's silly stuff, you know. Somebody talking silly or looking silly, acting silly, you know. And if it do be something of importance, they end up selling out, you know, they get popular and start getting some little money, and they end up selling themselves out, and that's it, you know. They lose their soul. And see, most of us got a hole in our soul because of our upbringing and, you know, who our parents were and the lack of a parent in the house, you know, and the lack of actually getting history passed down, except what we get on Black History Month, you know, and a little bit of Black history in schools and whatever. And so we can never connect the dots. And each generation is a shortage of very significant education. You know, very little is fed. Now, when my mother she's 90 years old, when she was going to school, she in St. Louis, Missouri, they were getting Black history, you know. And then when I started going to school, they only had 1 or 2 pages of, it's like George Washington Carver or somebody, a little bit of slavery. They made slavery look like it was a Disneyland or something, you know. But my uncle, I was fortunate enough to have an uncle that was in the FOI, and I was born in 1946, and my uncle was already in the nation, and he pulled his, you know, his mother, his sisters, and he couldn't pull his brothers because they was gangsters. But that was cool because I had that side of me in my DNA, and I had my mother's father was my grandfather was a con man, you know, and I had that in me, and so I had a well-rounded education of this world right here, and the next world through my uncle, the FOI, what the next world gonna be like. And he showed me the same type of pictures that Sonetta are showing you when I was like 7 years old, man, 8 years old. He kept me abreast on all of it. Even though my mother stopped going to the nation, I would go to my uncle's house to visit. And every time I visit, he would have a house full of people over there teaching Islam. I go to the barbershop. He'd take me to the barbershop to get my hair cut. He'd be teaching the way Elijah teach at the barbershop. Everywhere I went, my uncle would take me, and he was schooling me, you know, on Islam. And my mother didn't too much want to be with that program of me getting Nation of Islam. So she went back to this world and took me with her and started trying to cut off communications with her brother, you know. And so I have a little bit different upbringing than most brothers around my age. And so during the 67 riots in Detroit, I could tell you exactly, you know, how that jumped off, because I was hanging in the streets. I wasn't in the nation, but I was hanging with the hustling brothers, you know. And the 67 riots started in a after hour joint, or y'all call it a blind pig. But I'm not gonna go into that right now. But it leads up to this time right now. See, and y'all are reintroducing, especially up there in New York, Brother Sinetta, when he was on the sidewalk, the pictures and history. I like the way he was doing that. When the government seen that it was drawing some attention, they sent some spies up in there on him, and spent his head in another direction. Now that could be a scenario, or they could have just came in up on him and told him, saying, we don't want you teaching like this no more. And we'll let you make some money if you divert the people's attention. It could be either way. But however, right now, what's happening on YouTube is everybody talking about Polite, Sinetta, Cyberspace Ministry, and Young Pharaoh. And no one is focusing on the real issue. And everybody done got back scared again. That's one reason why y'all focusing in on, y'all know it's BS, but that's one reason why y'all focusing in on Sinetta. Because of the fact that y'all scared to look at what's getting ready to happen. And y'all know that election, they told you what's getting ready to happen with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. They told you can see, but you're scared to deal with it. You're scared to deal with what's going on. You don't want to deal with what's going on. You're scared, And in my generation, you can see that when we had those riots, the brothers weren't scared because we just didn't have the right strategy or the right. We was kind of like acting off of emotions, pent up emotions. But Spook Who Sat by the Door hadn't come out yet. Now what about the Django with Jamie Curtis? With not Jamie Curtis, but Jamie Foxx. I don't know why I had Jamie Curtis on my mind. But Jamie Foxx. Those are the two pictures that I did. Out of all the pictures in Hollywood, I did Spook Who Sat by the Door and the Django with Jamie Foxx. And I dug this last Magnificent Seven with Denzel. But not as much as Jamie Foxx, So we might come back with a couple more of these. But for right now, this is Black Light Out.